Well, let's go look at the machine right now real quick.
Okay.
And I'll show you where it starts, roughly. So, on the CNC right now, a VT neck.
And the VT is this is a telly
style
neck?
Yeah.
Telly style neck.
So you can see the headstock's a little different on my VS. Like there's an S headstock compared to the T. So
Okay.
Anyway, so right now we're kind of halfway through it. The radius is cut into the fingerboard here. Next up, we'll put in the tiny fret slotting bit,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll do the fret slots and the dots, and then the fingerboard will be done. We also have to run the tuning machine holes here, which we'll do those, and then this whole thing will get flipped over, and then we'll run operations from the back, which you can see on this one here. This has had the final carve done to it. You can kind of see the ball cutter.
Mm-hmm.
We put that one's over here too. So this is the ball end mill that we use to do that.
Okay.
So this gets flipped over. And first we do like a rough cut with one of these square bits, just to take off some meat.
Mm-hmm.
So the ball cutter's not doing all the work. And then this comes down and moves back and forth like this.
So even taking it further back, just learning how to do this stuff. What did, like, just cutting your teeth and repetition doing, like, where did you?
Well, I use Rhino for this, which is a CAD program.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been using it since I worked at SIR. I started doing some rudimentary stuff there in terms of, drawing up files for cutting on a laser machine, just two-dimensional stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me a rough idea of how the software worked. And then, 10, 11 years ago, I bought this CNC machine. I was building the sort of custom bases by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I bought the CNC machine, and came with Rhino, and boy, I had to learn real quick how to make it work.
Got it.
So basically, I found some online tutorials, and I worked my way through those, and got enough, figured enough out to where I could ruin a lot of lumber. and eventually, I started making usable parts. And we've had this spoil board on here since then, actually, since the start, and Devin and I were just talking the other day, we're going to replace this with a sheet of aluminum and just put these hold-down points directly into the aluminum.
Okay. But definitely getting hands-on
it
is
was just doing it. Just, trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing and trying. Oh, I figured something out.
Okay.
But there was enough information out there. I mean, the people that sell you these things, they want you to know how to use them. So, here, do this, go over there, try that. You can get this tutorial, and that'll help a lot. And so that's what I did.
So this is getting the basic shape down, the basic stuff, and then from there you...
Yeah, like this is... So, see these hold downs here and here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just cut them off on this one.
Okay.
So I still gotta... I'll just block sand that. I cut them close enough on a bandsaw that I can just 80 grit block sand that in like 3 minutes. This one on here, I end up... We put a cut in the bottom of here that like you can see it was actually off on this one a bit. So you can see that little lip right there.
Mm-hmm.
So that cut is done when the neck is on upside down.
Okay.
So you pull that off, and there's still all this big wood here that connects to that hold down. So I bandsaw that thing off, and then just use a bearing trimmer, which I just did it, so it's set up for it. So I'll just trim that flush right up to the bottom of the fingerboard. So when you get it just right, then it looks like you glued the fingerboard on afterwards. No one will know.
Yeah.
So then that's where the neck is off the machine, right? It's got all these marks, and it's got these lips, so I have to blend that in. And I have this set up over here, and this is a bladder sander. There's like a rubber bladder inside there.
Okay.
So it gives a little bit.
Pliable. It's like
yeah. So when you push a neck into it, it gives, so it's not gonna carve a real rough facet directly. So I turn that on, and then, you know, I'm not going to do it because I don't have dust collection on. But
Cool.
this neck looked like this one, except this one's had about 10 minutes of work on that bladder.
Okay.
So that lip is gone. It's all blended up nicely. Same here. There's no more of these ball end marks on here that I can see easily. A little bit right in through here. See that? And I blended it a bunch up here too. Okay. So from here, from this point, the neck would get this other handheld bladder sander. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So what I would do is I'd take the neck. A big part of how you build guitars is how you hold the stupid thing while you work on it. It's a big part of it. So I'll take that and I'll fire this thing up again real loud, and then I'll just blend all these out.
Oh,
And because
okay.
this is a smaller one, it'll get into these tighter corners a lot
Got
more
it.
here as well. And then also do this blend on the face.
Okay.
And from there, you know, I'll block sand the flats. And you know, this neck until it'd be ready to paint, not including the fretwork, right? Because I still got to put the frets in this. This neck is about an hour from being fine sanded, not including the frets.
Okay.
To put the frets in would take me probably about an hour from here. So the body this one goes on is right here. And so I fit this a little earlier today, so it fits in
Yeah.
nice and
Pockets
tight.
nice and tight.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a template. I'll mark the holes in the body and drill them. Then I'll put the neck in, and I'll transfer the holes to the back of the neck, and I'll drill the holes there. And then I have this big torture device thing up here. So I bolt the neck onto that, like this.
Okay.
And then I'll tighten the truss rod so the neck's bowed back. Then I'll push this wedge under the headstock to make it straight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll put the pins underneath it, and then I'll block sand it out.
Okay.
Okay, so that makes sure that if there's any weirdness in the neck when you put tension on it, that it's compensated for. We're sort of pre-stressing the neck for the playing position.
Okay.
Dressing the fretboard out, and then clean up the slots, put the dots in, and then you put the frets in. So that process takes, if I'm really cooking, I can do it in about 40 minutes,
Okay.
but roughly an hour.
And then differences, obviously, with some set neck and different.
Yeah, well, this is a machine carved, you know, it's effectively, you can tell there's a lot of handwork that goes into this.
Absolutely,
because there's a lot
yeah.
of,
Yeah.
you know, and to get it to feel just right, this area right here is super important, this blend zone right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really makes a difference between a nicely formed neck and one that feels chunky and uncomfortable, because that can feel square and weird on a poorly made neck. When it feels broken in and like you've been playing it your whole life,
Yeah.
that's when you got it right. But there's still a lot of, you know, handwork in CNC stuff. But so that's that one.